Hi, this is Lady Lex UK, and this is part 2 of my interview with Mr. Wooshie. If you haven't seen part 1, then I will put a link in the description below and click on it and watch that one first. So let's get on with the interview. Nia wants to know, if you don't know how to achieve something, what do you do? Do you look for tutorials or what do you do?
Okay, so it's a case by case basis depending on what it is exactly. But for the most part, I like to challenge myself to see if I can figure it out for myself. So I'll just usually just keep throwing stuff at the wall to see what sticks and what finally works, like until I figured it out. If there's times where I don't know whatsoever, then I usually go into the Dreamiverse and just look at similar stuff to try to get an idea. And also, a lot of times it helps me know what's possible. Funny enough, despite doing tutorial stuff, I don't tend to watch any tutorials, including my own. Mainly because I'm somebody, again, I just like to challenge myself to try to figure it out for myself. And a lot of times that's to the detriment of my own creations. It would be a lot easier if I actually took the time to watch everyone's stuff and then learn all these things, because from the bits that I have seen, obviously there's very helpful tips out there. So basically, I'm too stubborn. That's the short answer. I'm stubborn and I want to figure it out for myself. So that's my way of achieving stuff, and it's not the best way to do it.
It's a way of doing it.
Not the best way, though. And that's important.
I mean, I like to work it out for myself as well, but I get stuck, and what I tend to do, and I don't know if anybody else finds this, if I ask the question, even if I haven't had an answer, just the act of asking the question on a forum means, for some reason, the answer pops into my brain. It's a bit weird. It's like,
yes,
because I've thought through what I'm asking, it's sort of sorted it out in my head, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, of course, I'm an idiot. I should have done that.
Yeah. That's part of that's what I wanted to say too. Is a lot of times I'll just bug somebody about this and just ramble to them about whatever I'm thinking, to hopefully get an idea going.
Yeah, it's sometimes the weird way that our brains work, and I'll wake up after 2 or 3 days of not being able to do a thing, and I'll wake up in the morning and I must have dreamt the answer, because it's like, there it is.
I think it's once you externalize it, maybe that's where something changes.
Possibly.
So I know, at least, I don't know, I usually pull one of my siblings to the side, and they're 7 and 12 respectively. So they're too young for my BS that I'm doing, but I tend to just tell them what I'm trying to figure out for logic stuff. They have no idea what I'm talking about most of the time, but I think just articulating it to somebody that's listening kind of helps. And a lot of times, at least they'll catch me if I contradict myself, or it's wait, you said this, how does that work with this? And I think that helps me kind of get through it a little bit, because I know if it's in my head, it's just too much for me to process.
Get it out of your head. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. But I mean, some days things just click, though. And like you said, that, and that's I love when that happens.
It's when it doesn't. It's just evil.
Yeah, that kind of happened to me, I think. Well, that's when, because there was a brief moment before my hiatus where I started doing facial sculpting. And the reason I started that is because one day something just clicked in my head to where I'm like, hey, I think I can actually try and do this now, even though I haven't practiced this yet. And I did it, and I'm like, oh, this actually doesn't look half bad. I'll put this on Twitter for people to see.
I knew when we first got into... were you in the beta? I take it you were.
Yes.
Yes. When we first got that and we were producing stuff and they told us we couldn't delete anything, I'm like, oh, this is going to be so embarrassing in a couple of years or whatever, because my stuff is still there, the stuff that I made first. They're going to look at that and go, why did she publish this? It's terrible. It's like, yeah, but
Oh, exactly.
I had the controller in my hands, bouncing about the screen, not being able to do anything at all. So as soon as I got any sort of control at all, I made anything, I published it because I was so excited. But it is rubbish, and I the fact that we can't delete anything, does that bother you, that there's stuff out there that maybe you're not happy with? I mean, the Mario
I mean,
thing.
yeah, that's pretty much the main one, the Mario stuff or Mario, whatever I wrote it as. But like, I've made peace with it at this point because I've adjusted.
So there's not
So,
any bad sculpting that you've done that you
well,
wish
there
could
is,
be
but
gone.
I don't think I'm ashamed of anything.
Right. Oh,
Like,
good. That's
so
very
like,
healthy.
you can, like, yeah, you can like, I mean, like that's why I mean, if I really am, it's unlisted and nobody will ever see it. But if it's like, if people can still see it, then there's like, I'm like, you know,
Yeah.
like you know, I'm not gonna. It's not up there because it's good, but at the same time, like I don't hate. Like I'm not, you know, ashamed of it. Again, I can look through it and just kind of see that, and also other people can see it too, and they can see like, oh, well, these initial creations he did are complete shit, but these later ones, like, oh, look, he improved over time.
Yeah, and everybody does. This is the fun thing. You see people, other people improving all the time, which is great.
Yeah,
So have you got anything big projects in mind? Anything that you're wanting to do right now?
yeah. Well, I'm currently working on one, and I'm gonna kind of plug myself right now, if that's okay with
Yeah,
you.
that's fine.
So, last few, well, I say few days, not consistently every other day. So I've been working on a project over on Twitch under the MR underscore Wooshie, Mr. Wooshie. Someone else took the other name; those are assholes. But basically, what I've been working on is I'm starting to do an RPG, and in the vein of Super Mario. Not, oh, sorry, what was it? Paper Mario and Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Those type of kind of a turn-based thing, but more active combat. So you actually have some rhythm and stuff like that. And it's been fun so far. Again, we've only gotten past like one character that we've made so far, but that's kind of the thing. So now is the time to kind of see, and I'm hoping to kind of document the process of this whole thing as I kind of figure out the idea and try to make this the best that I can. What I had said before is, at the end of the day, this is for me. So if everybody hates it, I'm fine with that. It hurts a little bit, but it's not for anybody but me. Like I'm making a thing because I want to play it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean, madness lies if you are just making things for other people's enjoyment. Because
Hmm.
you're never going to enjoy making things for other people that you're not really into. It's, you know, if you're just
Yeah.
making things for the likes, then yeah, you're probably not making the thing that would really fulfill you, I don't think, but
Yeah. I mean, again, but obviously you want people to still like it, but
sure.
it's not like the driving force. It shouldn't be.
The driving
Yeah.
force shouldn't, yeah, it shouldn't be oh, I'm going to change this about my game because everybody likes memes right now, so I'm going to make sure SpongeBob
Yeah.
is in there somewhere. It's like, no,
And there's a weird line you have to walk because at the same time, like you don't want to bend to whatever everyone's telling you to do, but you have to be open to other people's ideas and their constructive criticism. So it's like you gotta. I think as a creator for anybody, they have to try to find that balance of like you're still making it for you, but if people they're trying to help you improve it, you have to understand that what they're saying will improve your idea and try to differentiate all these different things.
so you've got a YouTube channel and a Twitch
Yes.
stream, and you're going to make this RPG. So you're going to do them on both those channels, or
Well, as of now, it's just all on Twitch. Like, it's
right?
just streaming it. As far as YouTube, I am not quite sure what I'm gonna do on that yet. I have to figure that out because tutorials are very, very hard to make, and I have not had fun making any of them so far.
Are you aware of what Media Molecule are doing in the future on their Trello board and stuff like that? And is there anything in there that you're excited for?
Well, as always, multiplayer. But
Yeah.
I think there was something about variables that was exciting to me. Just being able to expand on those, I think, because especially for longer form games, those are going to be very important. So the more that we can get out of that, the better.
Yeah, so they're going to give us more variables. I know that. The if they could give us if they could give us text variables, I would be very happy. If they gave us object variables, I'd be ecstatic.
Hmm.
But I don't think they're going to do that somehow.
I would wish for a way to like somehow, I don't know, this probably doesn't make sense, but where they can like have it so you can transfer stuff from one dream to a different one, not like scene to scene, but as in like from one game to a completely different game. I don't know how like maybe as in like something tied to your profile or something. Like
I'm not with you.
kind of like okay, like as in okay. So like let's say you have I'm gonna just pick two random games. I'm gonna go to Dream Surfing and just look at two. So let's say you have Blade Gunner and Wind Up, right? They're two completely separate games, nothing to do with each other.
Yeah.
Made by different people, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
So, like what I was saying is, I'm wondering if it'd be cool if they can find a way to where I unlock something in Blade Gunner and that registers something to my profile. So then when I play up Wind Up, a completely different game, it carries something over. So now I unlock something in a different game. So Little Big Planet kind of had something like that, I think. It had it like it was keys. So you can get like a key or you get a prize bubble to a certain level and then use it in a completely different level that was unrelated.
Right.
And then the benefit to that is that basically allows any of us to create these bigger things because we could have it so like, you know, one game that you make, it's like a part 1, and then you make a separate version that's a part 2, like a better updated one, but it can still carry over everything from that first one. And like I said, the only way I can imagine is something tied to your profile. Maybe you're given an object that you can use, like as in like you get an asset or something. Kind of you can unlock assets. You can put those in like little bubbles. So I don't know, maybe something like that.
All sounds real complicated to me, but you know what you mean. You.
Hopefully other people get what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I think it's a Little Big Planet thing by the sound of it. It's something that if you've played Little Big Planet, it sounds familiar or whatever. And now just looking at the features in progress at the moment. There's the VR expansion, obviously. Have you got VR?
Nope.
Nope. No, neither do I. Am I excited about it? Sort of. Have I got VR? No. Is it going to make any difference to me? Not really.
Might be cool to see some stuff, like. But...
Sure, but then how are we going to see it if we haven't got VR?
Oh yeah, no, that's why. As in, like, just see like other people, you know, like what they, because you know, I'm sure we'll still be able to see creations somehow, even if it's through like YouTube.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to be ring fenced, these VR things, or whether everything in Dreams is up for being in VR. I'm really unclear about that. Anyway, what else they got? The Ancient Dangers kit. What do you think of the kits, by the way? Do you like them, or do you think that's a good thing?
I think they're pretty neat. I haven't used them, well, because I haven't really made anything. But what I think they're a really good way though to get people started. Because a lot of times I think that's part of it too, is like people have sometimes the opposite of what I have, where they have an idea but they don't know how they're going to make it. So I think that is very helpful. I think the only issue I would say with the kits is not on Media Molecule, but on on the community. It's all you people, as horrible as that sounds. No, but I think what kind of tends to happen is I think people tend to overuse some of these assets and they don't modify them so that they look unique.
Yes. I recently did a tutorial on just that. It's
exactly.
It's something that and it's easy to do, but people generally don't even attempt it. And I think some of that is fear. I genuinely think people are like, oh, I won't be able to do it, so I'm not going to try and do it. I'll just stamp these things in. They'll do what they do. I won't look at the logic because that's, you know, I can't possibly. And I don't want to do the sculpting tools because I don't understand it. I think there's an element of that people just, it's easier. So and there's fear, and it's getting round to people that part of the fun of Dreams is learning the creation side.
Yeah.
And stamping down Media Molecule assets is a great start, but use that to progress to creating your own ones.
Yeah, again, you just modify it, you know, and it's a good start. Like in like right here, they have the what is this one? The Welcome Home kit, and there's just a green and white bed. Instead of it being green and white, make it like black and blue, something like that. And
exactly,
that already makes it look. Now it looks unique. It looks different. Right. That's all. That's it.
Yep. That's it. That's all you need to do.
So I think that's the thing. Like, is like basically, I think the kits are a great idea. I just wish that the people that overuse the exact same things would at least just tweak them just enough to where they stand out.
Yes. No, I'm with you. But then, some people are a bit sensitive about being told that, so it's a bit of a it's a double-edged sword. Anyway,
Yeah.
the other thing that they've got going on is Orchestral Instruments. You excited about that?
Yeah, I am. I saw the thing for that, and I mean, there's already a lot of instruments as is, but the more the better. That's the way I look at it.
So if you could suggest one game or one creator to someone new to Dreams, and you're trying to encourage them to buy the game, what do you show them? And I'll put it up here. So what are you?
Sorry. It really depends on the person because I have two answers.
Okay.
And one is more of a joke, so that's why I'm like, I'm trying to think of the right answer on this one. I would say, ooh, man, I okay. Well, I'm gonna say my what I love so much, which I have gushed about this so many times, and I still do to this day, was Cow Runner. Like, it's not
Cow Runner.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm well aware that that's not a game that shows off the best Dreams has to offer, but to me it was a fun, addicting game, and I think above all else though, it at least shows you that something in Dreams could just be fun and like finished, as in something that doesn't feel like a work in progress like you see with other projects.
So here we go. It's a wonderful, simple premise, and I haven't played it for such a long time.
Yeah.
My technique is rubbish. Go around.
But what I love about it though is it's like it captures that spirit of old Flash games that we'd play on the computers back in school. There's something special about that, I think. And like I said, I know it's a weird choice to show people, but at least to me that's what it captures. There's a bit of weird nostalgia for this thing because it takes you back to a simpler time, and I think it shows you that not every game needs to be some deep AAA type thing for it to be fun or engaging. I think that's something that a lot of people kind of forget every now and then. That there's still a place for like the simpler things.
So do you like one-button games?
I mean, yeah. Not like as a favorite, but I like a lot of games. I'll say that I like a ton of games. The other one I would say that is. This is a good showing of a game, was Ruckus, which everyone knows at this point, but
Yeah.
I'm a huge Godzilla fan, so playing that game, that's as close as I'm getting so far in Dreams, and oh man, that one's, it's just so good. I know in the future a project that I wanted to work on was based on a game called War of the Monsters, a PS2 era game, and it was basically what you'd expect, your giant monsters fighting in a city with a lot of destruction and stuff.
I'm just fascinated to see.
So that one is one I want to find.
I'm just fascinated to see. I haven't noticed it. People are making like baby Ruckus characters.
Well, that's the thing. If it's like a popular enough thing in Dreams,
Yeah,
there's like almost
look
like
at
fan art.
that. I have not seen that. That is so cute.
See, I know this wasn't one of the questions, but my goal for Dreams is to make something that people want to make fan art of, because I want like little cute versions of things I make.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's the goal. That's the only goal. Nothing else matters.
Well, here's Ruckus anyway. I think a lot of people didn't realise that somebody from Media Molecule actually made this, with some help from.
It was a proper team on this one.
It was a team, but the majority of it was made by Heart Factory, which is Kevin Watt.
Helicopters are rushing to the scene.
Yeah. Well, and like obviously I'm thinking like the more community type stuff because I know the go-to is like Art's Dream. Obviously, show that to people.
Yes.
But I think like you gotta see past it too and see like more when it's more collaborative with people that aren't all part of like an actual professional studio.
Oh, I missed the opportunity to eat that boat. That's not good, is it? There we go. Eat the boat. No, throw the boat. Well, I can't even remember how you eat things.
Politicians are wanting to take lethal force against the creature effect. Scientists are opposed.
What I liked about this is the way that it keeps going into this news feed.
Breaking news.
It's really innovative, that.
It's very like, again, I'm going to talk about Godzilla for a second. It's very like a Godzilla game that came out on PS3 and PS4, just called as such, where like it was, I mean, it was slower than this, and that was the problem, but it had things like that where there was more cinematic quality to it, in that like you get different camera angles and just kind of like making it feel a bit more like, almost like you're watching a movie. I think that's part of what Ruckus does, and again, that's why one of many reasons that Ruckus is a good example to show people of like, oh, what kind of stuff can people make in dreams? Well, here you go.
Yep.
And you know, and to show like that, and I think it's important to show stuff like this too, because it also shows originality, and to show that like, you know, like you can make something really cool and popular that doesn't have, like, no one has to know what it is. It just stands up on its own.
Absolutely. There you go. I'm just gonna leave that there. Yeah, absolutely. And look at that, 115,000. It is actually the third most popular game on Dreams. Is that right? I think that's right. Can't remember off the top of my head.
I believe it's second, actually. Yeah, it's right behind Art's Dream.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, hang on.
115,000 likes. Right behind Art's Dream with
it
$127,000.
is. You're right. It's the second one. I wasn't sure whether Southpaw Cooking had taken over, because they keep swapping places. So
I guess it depends. Maybe when VR comes out.
Yeah, now
that'll bump back up.
VR for Southpaw Cooking. I mean, you know, is that the sort of thing? I don't, like I say, I don't know whether the games that are currently in Dreams will be in VR or whether it'll be ring fenced off, and you have to make it specially for. I'm unclear.
I think it'll be similar. I think if anything, VR will just end up being more of a control scheme and like a different camera. But I think like at least going from a dream that's already been made to VR should work. I think it's the opposite is where there'll be problems, and that's probably what they're not going to implement.
Yeah.
But I think there'll be creators that are kind enough to those of us that don't have VR that they'll make at least two versions if they have to, or like, you know, like or add like a setting where you can like switch between VR or just regular. Hopefully.
Right. Well, we'll have to see how it's going to be, because it's coming soon.
Exactly.
I mean, we've not got long now to wait.
True.
Right, Hyper Dream Surfer wants to know. Who makes the best games in Dreams? I don't know if this is him trying to get you to say him, or whether
It might be. He knows it's not him. Hyper, if you hear this at any point, you've made like what, one or two things. Granted, I helped you with some of those, so I can't say that they suck, but
no, come on.
Okay, but as a serious answer though. Oh, okay. See, that's the tricky thing. To pick out a singular creator is not an easy task, because obviously there's a lot of them, and
yeah,
I think everyone has different. I don't know. It's hard to explain because, like, someone might have a really good game or two, and then someone else might also have a game or a game or three maybe, and then it's like, is that person better because they have at least a game more than the other one does? That's where it's a little bit tricky. Specifically, look at the character 8-bit.
Okay.
And just look at it though, because this is like to me one of like the most polished characters in here. Where if you just stay still and just even the idle animations, there's just like personality and character to those, if they're currently on right now.
Yeah.
Unless you might have updated and got rid of them. Yeah.
No. She's looking at a tablet or a phone or something.
Yeah, and it's just like but it's very clean. That's like the thing I could say above all else. And I love like the little rockets when she goes flying around. That's probably my favorite one. And yeah, so I'm waiting till all the idle, I'm waiting till all the idle animations go through, but I would say because then like there's an actual test thing that he did, which was a little like it's called Urban Underground, and that has like that's more of an environment, and there's something that's just very unique about it, in my opinion. Like looking at it,
Right. Well, she's
let me see.
she's
Yeah, I
not
don't know
doing the
why.
idols very
Sometimes
quickly.
it's the
Urban Underground.
randomize,
This one.
but yeah.
Town built inside
So
of an abandoned warehouse. I don't think I've come across any of this. I must
yeah,
say, it's so easy to lose people in the Dreamverse and not see their stuff. If
oh,
they don't,
absolutely.
if they don't advertise themselves on Twitter or get shown in a stream or anything like that, or they don't send it to me, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Because there's too many things. There's thousands of things.
Well, yeah, and I saw this because he sent this to me as well. But like again, this is something as he said. I guess he's been working on the character since early access and just like trying to make it more polished. And that's the kind of stuff that I can really appreciate because I think one of the biggest things that I always like want to look at for characters in Dreams is ones that get away from just like the basic puppet. So I think
Yes.
that is always like that instantly makes it better in my opinion. Like a character that does not resemble the puppet because then it feels more special, it feels more unique, and I feel like people that do that, it's like they put a little bit more care into it. They put a little bit more time into it.
I like these talking robots. Having
So
a
either way,
chat.
like I said, I think this might be someone to just be on the lookout for in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I like it very much. Very nice. Nice. Like you say, it's clean. This is the good thing. It's a nice clean model. The animations are really good. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll look out for Cypher 755. Right. What is your thoughts on the game jams? Good, bad, indifferent?
I think I like the idea behind them. I don't know. I feel like what I don't like is people can kind of cheat, and they could just have a creation they already made way in advance and just throw it in. And I don't know. I feel like that kind of goes against the purpose, in my opinion.
So, Kingdoms in the Sky is the current game
Yeah.
jam. Are you taking part in that?
No, currently not because I got other stuff. But
And the Elements one, you didn't do anything for that
I
either.
didn't. No.
No.
And that's the thing. I wouldn't have wanted to upload my stuff because it's not genuine because it's stuff that was from like a year ago. That doesn't feel fair.
Yeah. Now, this is the thing. Other people really don't mind about that, and they will just put in whatever, whether they made it for the game jam or not. And that's become a
Yeah.
thing now that there's an awful lot of entries and winners that actually were not made during the 2 weeks of the jam.
I think that's what's kind of unfair about it. Is it's like
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like you're seeing like the best of this. I don't know. It's weird. It's like, well, yeah, of course that person won. They've been working on it since beta.
Yeah.
While
th-
everyone else, we only had like 2 weeks to do it.
This is it. This is what concerns me, is that there are creations in there that, yeah, they're great, but you didn't make them during the game jam, or for the game jam, and
Exactly.
and well, but then again, this has never been a game jam in the true sense of the word, anyway.
I think that's the thing. They should change it to where it is, where like it locks you out of like your creations, and you have to make it from scratch in 2 weeks.
Yeah. There was a lot of controversy early on where people were winning with other people's creations, and
I remember that.
that didn't go down very well with people, and that is still happening. So, I've myself, I've given up on the game jams completely. I'm like, I entered this last one, the little city one. I haven't even looked to see where I came, if anywhere. That's how interested I am in it. I didn't even bother to look see how I did. But yeah, and I entered something that I didn't make during the 2 weeks either. It just fitted, and I thought, oh, what the hell? If you can't beat them, join them, sort of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, game jams. let's pass on. What about the Impy Awards? Did you participate in the vote?
I actually, as far as I know, I don't think I was aware of them until after they already occurred. So it was more of like, or like as in, or at least like I think after the stream was over, I think that's when I finally heard about it.
Oops! How did you miss it?
I don't know. I don't know what was going on at that time that I just completely missed it.
Right. So you didn't.
I saw after, like I saw the results and I saw the whole thing and I talked about it after for a while.
Okay. And did you like the results? Did you agree with the results? I don't want you to say anything in particular. I don't want you to say I don't think so and so deserved their award. But
I wish I at least got nominated for something. That would have been nice. That's all. That would have been cool. But in all seriousness, I think it was fine. I think this was like a bigger issue though. That's like a whole deep conversation that we don't have time for. But like I know there's been people talking and like complaining about like favoritism.
Yeah.
So I'm that's as much as I'll say about that. So I know like that's kind of been an issue for quite a bit of people.
Yeah, I mean it was supposed to be a community vote thing, but then they had panels and people from the industry looking at stuff. So I don't know. It's it'll be interesting to see what happens next year with it. And
Yeah.
I think because of the nature of it, because it is an awards thing, it's always going to be a little controversial, and some people are going to be going, I don't understand why that person or that game got an award when this game is clearly better, and all of that, because it's to do
or
with
at the very least, like I know
taste.
there was a couple that felt like the wrong category,
Yes.
where it's like, oh, this game should have won in a different category, but not the one it actually won in.
Yes, that sort of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
but
so
but
it's
it was
but-
it was their first go, so
Exactly. So that's why you can't really. It's the same thing with DreamsCon. You know, it's like the first one.
it's the first one. And well, as we mentioned it, what did you think of Dreamscom?
Again, that one I missed as well, until like after the fact, because that was during my hiatus. But looking at it afterwards, I liked it. I think the only like issue was I think like I don't know. I guess I wasn't sure about what it meant in the first, like as in initially from what some people had told me, they got like special invites from themselves, apparently. But then so I assumed like, oh, okay, so the people that is going to be shown at DreamsCon is people that got invited. But then like looking at the booths, like walking around in the game, some of those are like either empty or just have a name with nothing there. And that's where I kind of was wondering like, wait, was this open to anybody? And I don't know, there was like a few things that just didn't seem very clear.
It was the stream that confused me. Clearly, these edited trailers, they're not made in Dreams. They were edited outside of Dreams, from Dreams content. And to know that they were looking for those, I don't think that was public knowledge. So that must have been to some sort of invitation or word of mouth, or somebody organised it and contacted all their friends.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm saying yeah. I mean I've blogged about it in that it's like I felt like I was out of the loop on that one. But I don't even know where the loop is, or if there is one. If you know what I mean. I don't even know if there is a group of people that are in the know and the rest of us aren't, or whether it was just this one particular thing, and the way they contacted people. I don't know. I don't want it to sound like I'm bitter about it. I'm just disappointed, really, because I would have liked to have made a trailer myself, and it would have been really nice to be able to advertise my website, to be honest. But they probably wouldn't have allowed that. So, but anyway, whatever. Okay, so what do you think the future for Dreams is going to look like? And do you think we'll still be playing this in 5 years? And do you hope that you are?
Yes to both, but if it actually like, you know, upgrades and updates and stuff like that. In its current state, you know, there's only so long you can really stick with it. But I'm assuming, I mean, as they mentioned, they have like a 10-year plan. So based on that, that's why my assumption would be that I think people will still be playing it, we'll all still be playing it, and it'll be better as time goes along. I mean, as obviously looking at the Trello and the stuff they're looking towards the future, everything's just meant to improve. And I know like the final frontier I feel is monetization and actually publishing and getting money for games. So that's the one where I'm curious how that is going to go, because that had, at the very least, I know it's been a thought at some point. So then what's going to happen?
See, it was mentioned way before even the game launched, and being part of Project Spark, where that sort of talk happened there as well, I know that this is something that has an awful lot of pitfalls and legal ramifications for all sorts of stuff. And for Media Molecule, I know Mark Healy has said it in interviews that he would like that to be a possibility. But as you can see from their Trello board, it's not something that is penciled in as, yes, we're doing it.
But it might be because it's something above their heads, though.
I think it's
like a Sony thing at its core, I think.
It is a Sony thing at its core, but it's also the practicalities of doing that with the current setup. You won't get it with the PS4.
No, of course
not. That's a definite. I think we're talking PS5, PS6. You know.
I think PS5 for sure. I think PS6. Yeah, that's too far down the line. Like, if anything, what I would imagine that they end up doing is, it would probably be a very selective process, and I'm sure there'd be like so much paperwork that a creator would have to go through if they want to publish their thing. But I imagine it would be something where they would work with them, and through Media Molecule and Sony combined, then the game at the very least I think would just get on like the PSN store as a digital indie game.
I think what's more likely to happen is that somebody will make something in Dreams, and Media Molecules will contact them privately and say, look, this is so amazing, we love this so much, we would like to make this.
I think that would have to be a pretty amazing creation.
It would.
Well, I was thinking more of like as a general public.
But as a general public thing, I don't think it's going to happen. I personally, I think that at this point with Dreams, I don't think it's going to happen. With something, with a programs at some point, yes. With Dreams, no.
See, I think it would, but just as a very selective process, though. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think any random person, I think anyone can apply for it, but it's not going to happen for everybody. So, anyone with their meme games that try it, it's just not going to go through. But I think if somebody, spent a lot of time working on, I don't know, what's a random game? Let's say, something like Mimeo Prophecy. They work on that, and I'm sure because I don't know, I feel like it'd be like an application thing, where you apply for it, you send in your game to them, they can kind of review it and see if it's even worth putting up in the first place. That's the only way I can think of. To where basically MM at that point handpicks people that they want their games to be made.
It's gonna cause problems in the community, though.
Oh, but I feel like that has to be part. If that's not part of the 10-year plan, then I don't know what is. Because the thing is, you have to find a way to keep people motivated over the next 10 years to want to keep making stuff. And
sure.
if you really want people to get motivated, if you want them to really put everything into it, you got to give them money.
Nah.
Because I don't know. I mean, I know at least on my end, I would not work on one project for the next 10 years unless I was getting paid something for it.
It's a very American outlook, I will tell you.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. Americans are motivated more by money than other
it's not
countries.
that motivated, it's more of a necessity. In that if we... Because I know... Okay, I've talked to a few people in Dreams before where they talked about how some of them were able to do Dreams a lot more frequently because they didn't really have to worry about stuff. But then a lot of us, we can't afford to do that because we have mouths to feed. So if we really would want to get super depth into Dreams, we would need some kind of income. If not, our families suffer. I know I can't quit my job. Like, I can't quit my job to make games and dreams because I need money. If not, my whole family is out of a life.
But it's a hobby. See, this is the thing.
That's the point, though. They have to train people though to be the next game developers. I think that's. I feel like that. If that's not their goal, I'm not entirely sure what is. Because to me, I always thought of like it's like this is a thing that currently is a hobby, yes, but it feels like something that in the future is a way to bring out the next creators, the new developers. Like,
yes,
I don't know. But that's part of it though. Is again the question of money has to come up at some point because if people are spending hours a week, you know,
becoming a developer because you've had some experience in dreams is a different thing to anybody in dreams making stuff and you can then monetize their game, because the vast majority of people in dreams, and this is not disrespecting anybody, but their games suck, and nobody would pay for them. That's why it's a selective
process, though.
Yeah.
That's the whole point. That's why I was saying it'd be a selective process. So it's not like anybody can put their game up. It'd just be like, it's like you can petition for your game to go up. But if they look at your game and it's just not a good game, then it just doesn't go up. That's what I was saying. So it'd only be the best of the best games in Dreams that can go on there. And
that will cause the community to split into those that can and those that want to. And that's... I'm not sure that that's good for Dreams. Personally, I don't think that's good for the community of Dreams.
But I think
it's good for the individuals, but I'm not...
But at some point, they need a way to keep the income going. If they're expecting this game to have life over the next decade, MM need a way to generate more money apart from just selling more copies of Dreams. They need to find a way.
Yes, I agree with you there.
And that's what I'm saying. So because obviously, I think it's kind of goes without saying that anybody that would manage to get their game onto the PlayStation Store or something, it'd probably be signing a deal to where MM gets a cut because you're using their engine. And that's why I feel like because of that, that's why it could happen because of that. Because MM makes money, creators can feel more motivated in the sense of they feel like they can actually make this into a profession instead of just as a hobby.
But then if Media Monaco wanted to make an engine for people to make their own games that they can make their own money on, you wouldn't make it on the PlayStation. I think their motivation for Dreams was not that. It was to allow people that don't have programming experience and don't have powerful PCs or Macs or whatever to make good quality graphics and mini games and things like that as a hobby, as a fun thing. The way that people of my generation did with our consoles, we made our own games because there weren't that many games available to play, so you made your own, and therefore we get it, and then but then people younger than us go, no, I don't want to do that. I want money for what I'm making, because it's not a hobby for them. It's a way to become a games developer. It's I'm making this game and I want people to pay for it.
Well, I mean, on behalf of the majority of us younger people, I mean, our main reason is not as a selfish need. It's because of like resourcefulness. We want to do the stuff we love. But especially now with the way the economy is, and I know this is getting way off topic, we need a way to support ourselves. And that's the way for any artist. If you want to, you have to support yourself somehow if you really want to get super in-depth with your art. And I think for a lot of people, this might have started as a hobby, but the fact comes from that eventually, as you're making stuff in Dreams, you kind of feel that thing of like, well, I want to make real games. I want to make full games. So the option becomes, okay, MM has to look at it like this. Would they rather people in Dreams moving over to stuff like Unreal and Unity or what have you, or would they rather find a way to keep them in Dreams and making games in there? I think that's the reason I feel strongly about like that. They will at some point find a way to monetize, because if not, they're gonna lose a lot of their player base who again, it's not that they want money, it's that they need money. So they're gonna take their hobby elsewhere where they can do what they love and they can do it for a living. Because that's the goal for all of us, is we want to do what we love as a job, as a career.
Yeah, but I don't think, see, this is it. I don't think the amount of people that play Dreams with that aspiration is as big as you think it is. I think it's a much smaller number of people than those that just want to do it for a bit of a laugh and
but that's a good thing, though, and that's a good thing. That's the point. So then those fewer creators, like, that's, again, I don't know, I'm just saying, like, you know, like, I'm pretty sure MM would be pretty happy if they could get Great Job Human on the PlayStation Store and people were able to buy it and then MM gets money for it. Like, not that literal version of it. That's what, and I think that's part of it too. I think if that point comes, it would have to be a more in-depth game. Like, as in, instead of it just being a direct port, it would be like a bigger experience. Again, there's a number of ways they can do it. Who knows how they'll do it? Maybe eventually they adopt a streaming kind of model for people that want to just play some games. Like, who knows? All of this is up to them. But like I said, if they want to keep, like, some of the best creators are people that would love to be able to make money off of what they're doing. Not because of stinginess, but because of necessity. So if they want to keep those amazing creators, they need to find a way to keep them there, because at some point, we're just broke. We can't afford to be in Dreams. We got to focus on other stuff instead. So we step away from Dreams, and then our creations suffer because of it. And as a whole, the platform suffers because some of those amazing creations are just no longer being put out by people.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm with you. I get it. It's just that I'm not one of those people.
That's the thing. Like, I guess, like, we're speaking for, like, groups of people at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like it's a tricky thing to talk about.
Though I would not begrudge anybody getting the opportunity to have their game put on the store for people to buy at all. I'd be really excited for them. So,
I guess at the core, it depends on your intentions. If you're in it literally just because you want to get rich and famous, then I get that being a problem. But if it's more of like, I want to just keep doing my hobby, but I don't have the means to do so, then that's like a whole different thing. And I think that's the okay way to do it.
Right. Well, we've been at this 2 hours now. So I'm just going to do the quick fire ones.
Quick fire round.
I gave you some quick fire questions before, so you've had a chance to think about this. So you should be able to do these quickly, but I'm going to throw in a few that you haven't heard. All right, are you ready?
I believe so.
Right, okay. Memes or emojis?
Emojis. No, wait, memes. Memes.
What, graphics or gameplay?
Gameplay. Easy.
Little Big Planet or Dreams?
Dreams.
Minecraft or Lego?
Lego.
Mario or Luigi?
Luigi. He needs more respect. Put some respect on Luigi's name.
Okay. Sculpting or Logic?
Ooh. Logic. No. Yeah, Logic.
GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Here's a controversial one. Kareem stream or beach tips?
Ooh. I feel like I have to go with Kareem.
Right, okay. Platformer or RPG?
Damn, this is cutting to my core. Platformer.
Okay. Connie or Cuthbert?
Cuthbert.
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation.
Hey! There we go.
That's not even a question.
You might have both, and you might find that really difficult to decide. At this part of the show, I asked my guest if they'd like to provide me with a little bit of a video, and this could be tip, a trailer, showing off something they're making that's not publicly available in the Dreamverse, anything they want really. And Mr. Wooshie has done us a little tutorial, so let's have a look.
Have you ever had an animation like this? One that was just really stiff and janky and just wasn't working? Well, thankfully, there's a very simple way to fix that, and I will show you so that way your animations can be a lot cleaner, smoother, and just overall better. With that being said, let's just get right to it. The first step to improving is understanding the initial problem. As you can see here, we have a blue and a red keyframe that are bigger than the keyframe surrounding them. This causes the poses made by the blue or red keyframe to effectively pause the animation. The longer the keyframe, the longer that the pose is held. So the simple tip and trick is instead of having one long keyframe, it's better to split them into two smaller keyframes. And what you make sure to do is have it so that the two keyframes are slightly different from each other. That way, there's still a bit of movement within these poses, but it's still technically holding on to the same pose. So it doesn't really alter the animation itself, it just makes it look better. A quick little shortcut is to hold L1 while using either left or right on the D-pad to quickly swap between frames on a timeline. Currently, I am modifying the second blue and second red keyframe to slightly differ from the keyframes preceding them. As you can see, I'm trying my best to keep the same general pose with just slight tweaks. As I finish up this last keyframe right here, you can see that as soon as I hit play and look at the animation, it's looking a lot smoother than it did initially. For something so simple and small to do, it actually makes a huge difference overall. Now we can just quickly look at a little comparison between the old animation on the right and the new one on the left. So by just adding a couple of keyframes instead of having long keyframes, you too can make your animations look a lot smoother with a minimal amount of effort. Thank you very much, and hopefully this will be able to help you at some point in the future, but in the meantime, remember to always have sweet dreams.
Right, thank you very, very much. That was Mr. Wooshie talking to me on the first ever Talking Dreams. I will be talking to other dreamers. If you are a dreamer that you think you would like to be interviewed by me, I don't know why you would, but you might, then let me know. You can contact me on Twitter and say yes, you would like to take part. I have a few other people. I don't know who I'm going to do next. I've got a few people that have volunteered, so we'll see how it goes, see how this video goes on YouTube. So if you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. Anything you want to see in this particular series, let me know about that in the comments. So thank you very much, Mr. Wooshie. It sounds a bit weird calling you Mr. Wooshie all the way through, but bye James. Thank you very much for
Thank you again for having me.
for joining me. Yes, it has been fun. Thank you very much.